Hello, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Maya. If you're not new here, my name's still Maya. I just recorded a video and then my mother interrupted me, so I had to start again. But today I'm talking about the strict rules I had as a kid and why I'm probably gonna keep them for my kids. I don't know what is going on with this shadow right now. That did almost nothing, and now I just look really off-center. So I hope you guys can ignore this shadow, unless I can figure out how to fix it. Now y'all, is a work in progress. But the first rule was that I wasn't allowed to wear makeup as a kid. I was not allowed to wear plain makeup. My sister and I, we tried to make our own makeup by burning almonds. Hopefully no kids are watching this. With ground cinnamon, we used to make bronzer, although not really sure what we need a bronzer. It was much darker as a kid, like darker than this. It's winter, okay? It's winter. But we're not allowed to wear makeup, and although I hated it at the time, I really appreciate it now because now I like how I look without makeup. I can look at myself and be like, like anytime I do wear makeup, I don't wear foundation. I don't like not looking like me. The one time that I ever wore a full face of makeup, I absolutely hated it. And this isn't like, oh my god, like I'm a pick-me. No, I just didn't recognize myself and I went, oh, who's that? It was so, uncanny valley. And I was like, I'm not doing that again. So I like makeup that enhances my natural features and not completely covers them up, because I look like my grandma. Why would I ever cover that up? My grandma's the prettiest person I know. So, but I like how I look, and I think that had I been allowed to wear a lot of makeup, because I was super insecure as a kid, I don't think I would have grown to like my face. And I'm grateful for my dad, even though it was so annoying at the time watching all my friends wear makeup and me not being allowed to. I appreciate it now, because now I can do it for fun, and I still like how I look. And most days I don't wear makeup, because I like my face. And I like looking in the mirror and be like, oh, I know her. So, not that if you wear a full face of makeup, you don't know who you are. This is just my personal opinion. Anyway, also I was talking to my best friend earlier about how Meta is apparently looking into your DMs, and y'all, if I ever blow up, I'm getting canceled. But anyway, another rule we weren't allowed, I don't even know what's going on. Another thing we weren't allowed to do was sleepovers. We were allowed to have sleepovers at our house, but we weren't allowed to sleep out anywhere else. And I feel like in strict households, this is a pretty common thing. But if you had a brother, if you had a dad, we weren't staying there. Which now, hindsight being 2020, I understand why. But obviously as a kid, I was like, this is so unfair. But I get it now. And I'm definitely gonna have that same role with my kids. But back to the makeup thing, I'm definitely gonna hold that with my kids, because if you don't like how you look without makeup, I don't think that you should be wearing makeup. I think once you like how you look without makeup, then you can use makeup as like an accessory. I was explaining to my little sister the other day, she's like, Maya, do you wear makeup to be prettier? And I was like, nope. I said I'm already pretty. And she goes, yeah, then why do you wear makeup? And I was like, well, why do people wear jewelry? You know, like why do people wear a headband? It's just to accessorize. I don't think it makes me any prettier. Different, maybe. Not prettier. But anyway, another thing on the lines of that was we also weren't allowed to do our hair. And not like a ratty, ew, messy kind of way. I wasn't allowed to straighten my hair. If you don't know, I have 4C curls. So I have mixed curl hair. And I wasn't allowed to get it straightened unless I went to the hair salon. And now for good reason, I see that when my friends wanted to do my hair, they didn't use heat protectant. I remember my best friend in elementary school taught me how to curl my hair. And I was like, maybe 13 or 14. I didn't know how to use a curler because I wasn't allowed to. And I remember my dad was like, what'd you do to your hair? I looked ridiculous, by the way, because I didn't know how to do my hair. And I went in 6th grade to my friend Paige's house, and she was like, come on, let me do your hair. And I was like, no, my dad's gonna get so bad. Because when my dad gets mad, it is scary. I was like, my dad's gonna get mad, I wanna get beat. And she was like, no, just come on, let me do it. I was like, okay. And then she wet my hair and then put a flat iron to it. Paige, if you're seeing this, girl, I forgive you. You're good. But burnt my hair. My dad came to pick me up. I looked like I had just been electrocuted. And my dad was like, did she try to do your hair? I said, yeah, she did. And I got in trouble. So, there's that. But I get it now. Now I take really good care of my hair. I still wear my hair straight most of the time. Like, obviously, I'm not one of those people that are like, I have curly hair. And then it's like one tiny little curl. No, I promise I have 4C curls. Maybe in a later video I'll put a picture of it, but this is not my natural hair. But I wear my hair straight so much that even my own sister, my little sister, did not know that I had curly hair. But we're gonna skip past that. Another rule was over the summer, before we could go outside and play and have fun, we had to do, I don't remember if it was 2,500 or 25,000 mastery points. Something, it was like a couple of hours of Khan Academy. And I get why my dad instilled this in us. I don't know if I would make my kids do quite as much, but I understand he was getting us ahead for the next year, which that's still instilled in me. I don't know if I put that to use, but I understand why he did it. And I can appreciate it now, honestly. But I think the one that I appreciate the most is the fact that we weren't allowed to wear slippers, flip-flops, sweatpants, really anything like that out of the house. And at the time, everybody was like wearing Ugg slippers and they were really popular. And my sister had gotten some for Christmas for my Mimi, which that's my grandmother. And she was ready to wear them at the house because obviously all the girls at our school were wearing them at the house. And I said, nope. My dad said, no, you're not. Those are in-house shoes. And obviously my mom wasn't raised like that, but my dad was. And you never know who you're going to see when you walk out that door, which is why it's really important that you present yourself as if you're meeting the most important person ever. And that's just something that growing up both my parents had instilled in me and my sisters. And so I've never worn sweatpants out of the house. I genuinely don't think I could. I can't. I remember in my dorm, maybe like 2 weeks ago, my roommate asked me to go to the grocery store with her. And I was like, I can't. And she was like, why not? And I was like, I'm wearing sweatpants. She goes, so? And I was like, because I travel back and forth from my apartment to my house. And I forgot an extra pair of pants. So I was like, I can't leave the house because I need clothes for tomorrow. And these are my pajamas, like sweatpants, because I only wear sweatpants. I have one pair of sweatpants and it's for pajamas, and they're most comfortable pajamas pants ever. They're from Pink. And it's like, I can't leave the house. And she goes, why? And I was like, I'm wearing sweatpants. And she was like, so? And I was like, I can't leave the house in sweatpants. And I was like, I can't go. And she was like, don't be like that, don't be like that. And I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. So yeah, and we've always been raised to dress well going to the airport. And my grandmother, God, I love her, when she would pick me up from high school and she would see people dressing as what she would call hoochie fashion, she would roll down the window and say to me loudly, how is she not cold? She's got her butt cheeks out. My grandma's from the South. Also, I had an itch really bad. And listen, to each their own. If that makes you feel good, girl, you wear that. For me, I couldn't do it. I could not do it. So I don't. And I don't really remember any other rules that my dad had for us growing up. Besides like being respectful and... Oh, I know one. We had to hand our phones in at 9 p.m. Which I wish my parents still did this rule because I was getting the best sleep back then. Right now I can't sleep. Like, it's so bad. But we had our phones in at 9 p.m. And this was before, like, screen time even got really popular. And I think my camera's gonna die. So we might have to end the video there. But I don't even know what date it is. I just finished my semester. I took my final today. So I hope you guys did well in your finals. I hope you have a wonderful week. I'll see you maybe tomorrow. Probably. Who knows? And good night.